Welcome back, metalheads. I'm coming back at you with my top 50 Black Sabbath songs. I'm gonna rank these, put them into tiers. Basically, 1 through 10 is or 1 through 10 is up here, 11 through 20, so on and so forth. F is I'm not really gonna have that many honorable mentions, like ones that barely missed the cut. I love Black Sabbath, don't get me wrong, but 50 songs is a lot. And Black Sabbath, I think if they would have kept their original lineup together longer, I think they would have had more classic hits. But it was getting rough near the end for me to find songs that I'm like, oh, I really, really like this. But anyway, and I just a heads up. So my Black Sabbath experience basically goes back to in around 2012. It was my first year in the military. I got really into metal. I think the song that like kind of got me into where like I need to find more of this was I listened to Dio's Rainbow in the Dark, and I know that's not even like that hard of a song, but I was like I need to find more of this because this is like different than just classic rock. I was like I need more of this. Anyway, uh, I looked into Black Sabbath and immediately I was like this is what I want because I already knew Ozzy and I liked Ozzy, and I was like this is what I want. So I listened to the albums that I got. I don't think I picked up any original Black Sabbath albums. I think I just had it was like Black Sabbath's greatest hits from 1970 to 78, the original lineup, their first, what is that? Is it 8 albums? Let's count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, 8. Um, and I mean, there's a lot of great songs that obviously weren't on that CD. I think they skipped like a few of my favorites that ended up being my favorites. So that was my experience mainly with them, and then later on, I discovered like Heaven and Hell and all that kind of stuff. But I will let you know that like anything that is not sung by Ronnie James Dio and or Ozzy is not going to make this list. I basically what I did was I listened to. I got done with the ones that I knew, like you do the original 8, then you do the Heaven and Hell, then you do Mob Rules, and then I tried Born Again with Ian Gillan from Deep Purple as the singer, and I'm letting you guys know, I fucking hated that out. Like every part of that. The only song I thought was kind of redeemable was Disturbing the Priest. But like Ian Gillan just like wails and screams, and I was like, this probably explains why I don't like Deep Purple, but I was like, I thought that was dog shit. I tried a little bit into the other albums, like I listened to I don't know why it's not letting me scroll. I tried listening to this what is it? Tony Iommi's solo stuff. I don't know if it's called the Seven Star, I don't remember that's a Tony Iommi album that shouldn't even be considered Black Sabbath. The only reason it is because the label was like, hey, it needs to say Black Sabbath on it. And then by the time that I tried listening to some of Eternal Idol. I just didn't have the energy or the concentration. I was like, I can only focus on like stuff that I'm pretty confident. I can't waste another, I don't know, couple hours to a day listening to stuff that I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like. I heard that this album right here, I don't remember what it was called, Forbidden or yeah, I heard this one was god awful. I did listen to, which I wasn't even aware that this came out, but the reunion of Ronnie James Dio and Geezer and Tony Iommi. Uh, I forgot I don't remember what this album's called. Somebody could say it below, but anyway, uh, I listened to this one because I'm like, this at least has like the core of what Black Sabbath is. Most of the stuff, like technically Geezer was on this one, and I think Bill Ward was also on this album. I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't. Uh, but the Born Again album, I think, is the last time that they have the original lineup, or most of them, up until you get Dehumanizer, which Dehumanizer I was aware of. I got into Dehumanizer probably, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, where I was like, holy crap, like Dio came back for another album. I didn't know that. And I found there's ones on that one that I like. So I'm very familiar with Dehumanizer. I've listened to this one. And then basically what we're talking about is the stuff up here. All right, let's get to it. Let's start off with we have the original Black Sabbath album, like self-titled. So the song Black Sabbath, that does not make my list. It's a good song in the sense of like it started everything off, but we're just talking about my top 50. This is not one that I would go back to. It's haunting to hear Ozzy back. What is this that stands before me? That's cool, but that's not one that I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm dying to go back to listen to that. So, yeah, that one's in honorable mentions. The Wizard. I when I this one was on that greatest hits album, and it almost seems like a throwaway song, but it's just like kind of funny and catchy. Just keeps walking, dun 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 dun, spreading his magic. I think Geezer Butler wrote this song about Gandalf, which is cool. So I'm gonna put the Wizard. This is in my last 10 that make the list, but it does make the list. Behind the Wall of Sleep, it just doesn't do enough for me. NIB is the one that, like, that's the one that I think most people would agree is the best one from that album. NIB is really good. I'm gonna put that. That goes in A, because NIB is just like shows off. This is like the first glimpse of like how much musical talent these guys had. Evil Woman, no. Sleeping Village, no. Warning is one that, like, up until yesterday, I don't know how I didn't catch this song or listen to it more. I like, this is basically a 10-minute just like them using their blues and some jazz. Like, this is basically them 10 minutes of being a blues band. And it's good. Like, I'm normally not a blues or jazz guy, but I was like, they were amazing in this. I'm going to put this in C category. So this would be, that's in my top 40 is basically what that means. Okay. Now let's move on to Paranoid, which, by the way, if you're just looking at that first Black Sabbath album, 3 in the top 50 for a band that's made a zillion albums, not bad. I think it just, the first Black Sabbath album is just, it feels like they were figuring out what their sound was. They had the talent, but they were figuring out what the route was, because they basically were making heavy metal as a genre. Okay, Paranoid album, War Pigs. Now, don't flip out on me, guys. I love this song, but this is A for me and not S tier. And don't get me wrong, most people would say War Pigs, that's one of their greatest songs, and it is. If you're just talking about, like, the top 10 is reserved for the ones that I listen to the most, and War Pigs was like my number 11. It just missed it. I think it's a beautiful, great song. What it's talking about is amazing. I just prefer 10 more. That's it. Don't get mad at me. I love War Pigs. Okay, Paranoid. Paranoid does make the S tier. Like, anytime that riff, anytime you hear the Paranoid riff, you're just like, yep, I'm down for 2.5 minutes of just awesome rock. Okay, Planet Caravan. This is like a guilty pleasure for me. I'm gonna put that in S tier. Planet Caravan is one that, like, when I first got into listening to more of Black Sabbath, this was probably like 2013, probably around that time, 2012, 2013. I was in the military. I'd get home on a weekend, like, of drinking whatever with my buddies, and I would just sit there with, like, the room swirling and just put on Planet Caravan, and, like, I don't know, I feel like I would drift away and go somewhere else. And it's an amazing song, and I just love the dichotomy of how this band can make, like, super heavy riffs that, like, just get you rocking, but yet they also have the artistry to make something like Planet Caravan. It's just genius. Iron Man. Don't get mad at me. Iron Man's a classic, but Iron Man to me is like the Crazy Train of Ozzy's solo career, in the sense of, you've heard this one a zillion times. So this is not one that I go back and re-listen a lot, because I'm like, I've heard this a zillion times. But it's a great song, but it does not, I put it in, it goes in my B tier. It doesn't make my top 20. Get mad at me all you want, but I think Iron Man's a great song, but there's 20 more that I enjoy. Because my Black Sabbath, I'm not just going to go with the hits. Like, I have other ones that I really like. Electric Funeral. So a lot of people love this one and Hand of Doom. They love these songs. I think they're fine. They just don't make my top 50. I mean, this band's made a zillion songs. Rat Salad, I think, that literally, like, is a perfect name for that song, because that song is just jumbled, just gunk. I don't know. I don't like that one. Fairies Wear Boots. I remember I saw Black Sabbath in concert in 2016 with my family, with my brother and my dad, and I remember they played Fairies Wear Boots, and I was disappointed, because I was like, you had to play that one? I was like, there couldn't be, I wanted more of, like, stuff from their other albums, and Fairies Wear Boots just is not one for me. Fairies wear boots and you gotta believe me. That's more of, like, their blues background, but I just think they've done so much better when they go back to blues. Okay, so the Paranoid album, this should tell you something. 4 songs in the top, I mean, Iron Man's near the top of this row for me. So 4 songs in the top 25, and then, like, 3 are in the top 11. You can make an argument Paranoid's their best album. I won't argue with you. Well, there's one that I prefer more, but we'll get to that. Okay, let's go on to Master of Reality, which I was listening to Henry Rollins talk about it. He says, like, this is his favorite album. And I like this album, but this one, I like this one more than Black Sabbath, the first, their first album. But to me, Paranoid is better, and then I like a lot of the other ones more. But anyway, Sweet Leaf. For a bit, I was like, because I'm not that crazy about the song. I'm not a pot smoker, so I don't like connect with the song. It's kind of catchy, but I put Sweet Leaf. This is in C category. It's fine. This one was on my greatest hits CD that I got, so I did listen to this one a lot years ago. After Forever, I think that one. Some people like that, not for me. Embryo is just an intro song. Children of the Grave is like when I first heard that song, I was like, wow. I was like, what you can do. I was taken away by Bill Ward's drums in this song. Just what they allowed him to do. The rhythm section is so good. A couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, this song would have been my top 10, but I found more of their songs that I like. This one right outside the top 10, above NIB, but not above War Pigs. Orchid, I believe that's a beautiful instrumental song, but I basically there's no instrumentals I think that made my top 50. Sorry, Lord of This World. See, I had never really heard this one a lot before. I'm gonna put this in D category. It's fine. It's got like a decent riff, but like it's not. These songs, that in particular, like Sweet Leaf, Lord of This World, not my favorites. They're solid Sabbath songs, but not my favorites. Solitude is one that I was blown away by this song. This is Bill Ward singing, and the lyrics are so beautiful. It's just a sad song, somber. You guys can call me crazy, and like I said, most people I understand they'd put Children of the Grave above this. And years ago I would have. I'm put Paranoid in my S tier, or sorry, Solitude in my S tier, and I'm even putting it above Paranoid. Now hear me out. I'm not saying for everyone else it's a better song than Paranoid. I acknowledge Paranoid, how awesome it is, the impact it has. But if you're asking me on a given day which one I would rather listen to, it's probably Solitude. And a lot of that is because I've heard Paranoid a zillion times. Solitude I just got into in the last year or so where I'm like, wow, hidden gem. And hidden gems, especially in music, is like finding buried treasure, and I love that. Okay, Into the Void. While I love like that riff is good, but once it gets to the like it doesn't change it up for me, and that's not that interesting of a melody. Into the Void does it makes my list. It's in the C tier. I would put it above Sweet Leaf, but not above Warning. So like Sweet Leaf, I think is better musically, but Into the Void is more creative, and I guess that's what I like about it. Um, anyway, you guys, so you looking at these three albums, their first three. Two of these are like some of my absolute favorites, and the other ones I'm like, yeah, they're solid, they're fine. Um, so I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, 5 songs off that album make the list, so that's the most so far. Um, all right, let's go on to Volume 4. Wheels of Confusion. I listened to all these. I don't know. They're interesting to me. I think I need more reps with them before I'd be willing to put them. I don't know, in a solid spot on my list. So this honorable mention. Here, let me put this down here. Tomorrow's Dream. I know Ozzy and Black. Well, I say Ozzy and Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath's original lineup. Like once Ozzy came back, this is like in 2017. They did a live performance of this live studio version. And I was like, okay, is this song like great and I'm just missing it? It's okay for me. It doesn't make my list. Changes. Everyone knows this song, Changes, and I listened to it back in the day, obviously. And I think what got me into this song was actually I was 18 when Eminem came out with I'm Going Through Changes. And he put that on his Recovery album, and that was kind of, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that Black Sabbath did that. I prefer Black Sabbath's version more because it's more pure. But Eminem did a good job. Eminem used to be my favorite artist. Like when I was younger, I was like more into rap, and then now I don't even listen to rap at all. And honestly, it's kind of hard for me. I can still listen to Eminem occasionally, but I just can't. I could listen to Ozzy or Black Sabbath like every day, but Eminem, it's like on rare occasions. Changes is an S tier song for me, and I would put Changes. I'd put it above these two. Not above Planet Caravan though, but I guess I'm a fan of like the somber, slower songs because everyone knows that you can go hard and rock and all that stuff, and have a metal sound. And the elite metal songs do make my top tier, but the somber, slower songs I just have, I guess, more appreciation for because it's like it just shows off their artistry. Okay, FX, I think that's just an intro instrumental. Supernaut, this I believe was on that greatest hits album, and Supernaut for me is in the S tier. I can you all know it. Supernaut is above Solitude for me, but not above Changes. Yeah. Um, I like I said, these are all great songs. And like I said, War Pigs, Children of the Grave, NIB, these could all be in the S tier. I just I'm doing 10 for each of these rows, so I only had so much room. Um, Snowblind. Okay, this was my favorite Sabbath song for a long time. So this is S tier. I believe this is number 2 on my list. I When I heard Snowblind, it just blew my mind. I was like, I did not know that they had the song because the ones that I had heard a zillion times from Sabbath are War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid, and I'm probably in Changes, and I might be missing a few, but like those were the main ones, and then a lot of the other ones, it was like they just weren't like the big radio hits that you were going to hear a lot. Snowblind should have got way more radio play, at least like on classic rock stations, in my opinion. It's just a beautiful song. I don't know what else to say. It just kicks ass. Cornucopia, no. Laguna Sunrise is like a beautiful song, but just not good enough. Saint Vitus Dance, interesting. I thought about it making the top 15. Okay, here's the one, guys. Under the Sun. I don't know where this song was. I somehow missed this through like the last 15 years of me listening to Sabbath. I somehow missed Under the Sun. Really, like a couple days ago, a week ago, I was going through. No, it was a couple days ago. I was going through their albums again, being like, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I played Under the Sun, and I was like, where the hell has this been? That amazing riff at the beginning, and then the riff at the end that Iommi comes up with. Under the Sun, that's an S tier for me, and I'm putting it above Planet Caravan. Not above Snowblind, but it came close. I just, I think that song is just pure, just I don't know. It's just so awesome. I sound stupid trying to describe all these songs, but they're amazing. Okay, so that is it for Volume 4. Volume 4 has 4 songs in my S tier. And just to give it away to you guys, Volume 4 is my favorite Sabbath album. I think that was when they were at their peak. They had experimented and figured out what their sound was, what people liked, and then this is before I think cocaine ruined their lives for a while. And I think that was their last great piece of work. And don't get me wrong, I should take that back. Okay, they got some more great pieces of work. But anyway, okay, let's move on to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which is, that title track is the first one that I ever heard from them, from that album. And originally Sabbath Bloody Sabbath was my favorite song off that album. I'm going to put Sabbath Bloody Sabbath in the A tier. Yeah, I'll put that above NIB, but not above Children of the Grave. It's just got that hard for the longest time I was like, that sounds like the heaviest like metal riff that I had heard. I don't I don't care for like I've looked up like Pantera and some of these other bands that people claim is like, this is like metal at its finest. And a lot of times they're just like, it sounds way too heavy and gritty where you can't even make out like different notes. There's not even different pitches. Everything is just dark, low pitch, and it's like, yeah, that's metal, but I feel like metal is more about the intensity of what you play, and like you can make the heavy sound without just I'd say like playing all in like bass bass clef, where like everything is just bass tone, bass notes, low. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but like you can play higher notes but still have a metal sound and be more creative. Okay, A National Acrobat. This one took over Sab Bloody Sab for me. A National Acrobat is in my S tier, and that sits right there. There's a good cover YouTube video of some. They look like just a bunch of dads. I think they're from the East Coast, and they just cover this song like in their backyard. And I'm like, wow, you guys do a great job. You should check it out. Just type in National Acrobat cover, and you'll eventually find some older guys playing in a backyard. They're pretty damn good. But this song, great song. It's just so catchy. And then Ozzy's like, sometimes Ozzy just follows like he sings basically the melody or he sings the riff, but in this one he goes off on his own thing, comes up with his own melody, and I just think it's just perfection. Okay, Fluff. It's a nice instrumental, but not for me. Sabra Cadabra, that goes in my A tier. Feeling fine. I'm a little lady, always on my mind. Yeah, like that song is just super catchy. I'm gonna put that above NIB. I think I would visit Sabra Cadabra more than I would NIB. Um, Killing Yourself to Live. This one was like hard because I always consider this like just kind of a mediocre track. But when I was going through listener songs, I was like, I think I like Killing Yourself to Live a little bit more. It has a really nice riff at the very beginning of the song. I'm gonna put Killing Yourself to Live in the B category, not above Iron Man, right behind it. Okay, Who Are You? No, pass on that. Looking for a Day? No, and then Spiral Architect? No. If any of these songs, like I said, if you guys dig any of these songs, put in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Uh, you don't have to give me your whole list, but I don't know, like a top 10, top 20. I would love that. Not for I don't do comments. I don't make any money off this channel, so it's not like I want more engagement because I want money. I just would be curious, like, am I missing something, or why do you love something? I love talking about music, especially Black Sabbath, which is my favorite band. Um, okay, so for the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album, that's 4 songs that are in the top 30, and really Killing Yourself to Live is like at the very beginning of this tier. So really, it's 4 songs in the top 25, 3 in probably in the top 15. I think that's a really great album. Okay, now we're gonna slide a bit because to me, I know Henry Rollins, who I really like and I respect and look up to. He says that like the first 6 Sabbath albums are great. In my opinion, it's the first 5, and then you have like a drop off to Sabotage. So I'm gonna do, let's see, Hole in the Sky. Hole in the Sky did make my list, but this is near the back. This is I'm not, it's fine. I'm trying to think of the melody off the top of my head. Uh, I can't do it because there's so many Sabbath songs, guys, that like naturally I'm gonna hit a point where I'm like, I cannot remember everything like on a whim. Be like, oh yeah, I remember exactly how this goes. I literally just listened to it like 30 minutes ago to remind myself. Um, anyway, all right. Yeah, like I said, this one is fine and it's in there, but not one of my favorites. Okay, Don't Start Too Late. I think that might be an instrumental. Symptoms of the Universe. I think I liked for a while, and I don't think that makes my list anymore. It's just, I don't know. I find it I find it kind of annoying. Let's see. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna make sure that this isn't in it. No, yeah, not on my list. Megalomania. I really like the riff in this song, and I had to re-listen to it to be like, do I like this one? Yeah, I do like this one. I'm gonna put this one in the C category, and I'm even gonna put this above Sweet Leaf, but not above Into the Void. Just got an amazing, cool riff in that song. And this is when Sabbath, in my opinion, starts to sound a little bit more like a lot of the other bands in the 70s. They're like, their identity of what made them is kind of getting lost at this point, and they're kind of blending in, which is why I don't love these as much, but there's still some good stuff on it. Okay, Thrill of It All, when I initially listened to it, I was like, yeah, this has got some stuff here, but I think it's just not enough. Put that down there. Superstar, nah. Am I Going Insane? No, I did not like that song. And then The Writ I thought was okay, but that did not make my list. Okay, so you only have 2 songs off this album that make my list. You guys, if I ever met someone that thought that Sabotage was their best album, I'd be like, I don't understand you. But like I said, there's still some things on there that you can enjoy, which was like the main takeaway of me going back and listening to all these albums is there is lots to enjoy, lots to appreciate, and like even their weakest albums. I'm not talking about like once the band falls apart and Ozzy's gone and even like Dio's not a part of it. When you have a different singer that's not those 2 guys, and the Geezer's not there and Bill Ward's not there, it kind of starts to fall apart. If it's just Tony, I love Tony Iommi, but I don't think he and a bunch of random artists can really make the amazing sound that was Sabbath. Okay, let's move on to Technical Ecstasy, which for the longest time I said out of their original 8, that was my least favorite. I have to change my tune. I think I have to give that to Sabotage. I think I like Technical Ecstasy even more than that because I found some songs I dig. Okay, Backstreet Kids did not make my top 50. I think it's okay. You Won't Change Me. I don't know how I did not. Probably because it's off Technical Ecstasy is why I didn't ever hear this song. You won't change me anyway. I don't even know if I'm singing that correctly, but like I can't even do Ozzy justice. But that song, I was like, wow, that is just it's kind of like sad, but it's almost not played in a sad way. It's almost like I don't know. The music is almost like it's kind of a pop song, but yet Ozzy's making it with like sad lyrics and stuff. You won't change me. I was really like blown away by. I'm gonna put that in my B category, and hear me out. Iron Man is objectively a better song, but because I've heard Iron Man a zillion times, you won't change me. I'm more looking forward to listening to that for the next 5 years to get acquainted with that song and actually be able to do it off the top of my head because as of right now I can't do it. All right, it's all right. I think that song is just all right, so I'm not gonna put it in there. Gypsy, nah. All moving parts, nope. Rock and Roll Doctor, I did not. That was probably my least favorite off the album. Okay, She's Gone. That did make my list. That's in C and even above Sweet Leaf. Don't get mad at me, but I liked it more. If I remember correctly, that was a really like kind of somber song, and I was like, there was I was trying to think of like, I know Ozzy has like a slow, sad song, and I was like, is this it? And yeah, it was the one I was thinking of. Off the top of my head, I can't listen to think of it, even though I just played the song. And then the last one is Dirty Women, which I think the main riff in that song is really good. And then when Ozzy at like the 3 minute mark is like, Dirty Women, like it's just really solid song. I'm gonna put Dirty Women. That is also in my C category. I'm gonna put that above Megalomania, but not above Into the Void. So there you go. All right. So Technical Ecstasy, I got 3 in my top 40. So I think that's pretty good, but none of them cracked the top 20. But yeah, I liked that album more than I thought, and I think I owe that album an apology because for the longest time, I think when I first listened to that album way back in the day, I was like, oh, this is junk, and I was wrong. I have to admit when I was wrong. Okay, let's move on to the Never Say Die album, which when I listened to this, like, I don't know, years ago, I found some songs that I like, and then some have aged better than I thought, and I found some new ones, and then other ones I was like, I don't know why I really like that song that much. Speaking of Never Say Die, this was in my top 50. I was like, oh, I know that one. Don't ever say die. I thought that was good. I have to put you could put this in honorable mentions. Like, this is probably up with Black Sabbath and maybe Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom as like, oh, honorable mentions, but not good enough because this doesn't even sound like a Sabbath song. It just sounds, I don't know, like they just couldn't think of anything else. And I know at this point the band was kind of falling apart. Ozzy left for a little while. Obviously he left after this album, but he left for a little while and they tried out some new singer, which I'll just skip to it. Swinging the Chain, it's not Sabbath to me. It just sounds like some random band with some random singer. I forgot who it was. Johnny Blade, kind of catchy, didn't make my top 50. Junior's Eyes. So I'd heard people talking about this song, and like, I don't know, I don't know how I skipped this one, but like, I had it stuck in my head last night. I was like picking up my brother from the airport, and all I could like think of was Junior's Eyes. You come home tomorrow. I can't sing it properly, but that has a great riff to it, and it's just because this is Ozzy, I believe, talking about his dad that passed away, like kind of a tribute to him. I'm gonna put Junior's Eyes above NIB, but not above the other ones. That's an A tier for me. I really was impressed with that song. Hard Road was the first one off this album years ago that caught my ears, and I was like, I like that one. Some people don't. It's kind of a happy-go-lucky with a nice riff. Gone. It's a hard road. I like this one, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. I'm gonna put this in my B category, B tier. It's probably gonna go in the back, but I like that song. I enjoy it. You can call it blasphemous that I put that above Into the Void. I'm not saying like musically it's more complex than Into the Void, but it's catchy and I prefer it more. Okay, Shockwave I thought was decent, but did not make the list. Air Dance, I was blown away by this one because I did not know that they had a slow song like this. They hired, I think it was like a piano player from Deep Purple, and Ozzy sings. He's talking about like on a midnight room, In her dreams. I kind of have those lines out of order. But if you have not heard Air Dance, it's got a, like, the music. Iommi's got a nice guitar in that. He's got a nice guitar part in that song. I'm going to put Air Dance. This is in B. This goes above A Hard Road, but not above Killing Yourself to Live. I, like I said, I was blown away. Air Dance needs to be checked out. More people need to be giving that song credit. Like, I don't care if the band that I like makes something that necessarily doesn't sound like their sound, but if it's still a great piece of music, I'm going to give them credit for that. Over to You, no, and then Breakout, no. Okay, so they have 3 songs that are in the top 30. Granted, nothing cracked like the top 10, but I think Never Say Die, once again, deserves an apology. And I would rather listen to Never Say Die album or Technical Ecstasy. I'd rather listen to those over Sabotage. That's me. Okay, so that's the original 8 Black Sabbath albums with Ozzy, and then obviously Ozzy departs. So then we get on to the Heaven and Hell album that came out in 1980 with Ronnie James Dio. So there are some people, in my opinion, they're crazy, that think that Ronnie James Dio with Sabbath, that they think that that's a better lineup than with Ozzy. Ronnie James Dio is probably a more talented vocalist, but for the sound of heavy metal, I do not think he's better than Ozzy, my personal opinion. But there are some songs that he did that I really enjoy. Okay, so Neon Nights. This is in the D category. I like it. It's catchy enough, but it's not above. It's not above these other ones. So, Children of the Sea. I do like that one. That one's pretty good. I'm gonna put that in C category, just slightly above Into the Void, which once again people think would be blasphemous. Lady Evil. A lot of these I'm not gonna remember exactly what they sound like because, like I said, there's just so many songs that Sabbath has. Lady Evil, this would probably make my honorable mentions, but just doesn't make the cut. All right, Heaven and Hell. It doesn't make my top 10, but I do love that song, and I'm going to put that in my A tier. I just think Heaven and Hell is great, and Iommi has one of the best solos on that song. Wishing Well, no. Solid song, but no. Die Young. I like that song. Where did I put it? Yeah, that's in the B's for me. Die Young. Yeah, not above Killing Yourself to Live, but above Air Dance. But that's these are all really close. Die Young is like Dio's part isn't all that great, but the guitar is just amazing in this. Walk Away, fine song, and then Lonely Is the World. I think I had to put this one. This is one I discovered that I wasn't really all that aware of. I had to put that. This goes in B and above A Hard Road, but not above Air Dance. Lonely Is the Word is another one that I think Tony Iommi Tony Iommi was a monster on the Heaven and Hell album. I mean, he just puts out just nonstop, just like great riff, great song, great guitar solo. Like, he's just great. So the Heaven and Hell album has 5 songs that make my top 50. As you guys know, that album's pretty legendary. Okay, let's move on to the Mob Rules album. This calls it Turn Up the Dead on this tier maker, but I think it's called Turn Up the Night. Does not make my list, but I thought that was a fine song. Voodoo, same thing, fine song, does not make my list. The Sign of the Southern Cross was one that I'd heard a lot of people talk about. I think I'd listened to it once or twice, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And then I listened to it again yesterday, and I was like, I really think I was underestimating this song. I think this song is a lot better than I gave it credit for. It's just got a simple but awesome, it's the sign of the Southern Cross, with like an amazing riff. I'm going to put that in my A category, not above NIB, but yeah, it can go right there. That song just super catchy. I think this is an instrumental. The Mob Rules, this is probably like their biggest hit. Well, I don't know, man, if you consider Electric Funeral and Hand of Doom big hits, but this is probably their biggest hit that just I don't understand why people really care for this song. Just I think Dio's part is so it doesn't fit the music at all in my opinion. He's like the Mob Rules. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Country Girl, okay. Yeah, Country Girl, fine. I don't know. Maybe it should have made my list, but it didn't. I was running out of room, so yeah. Sorry. I don't. In hindsight, let me see. Can I make a change? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna switch this up. I'm gonna put Country Girl. I'll put that in the D category because I do think I like it a little bit more than one of those songs. Okay, Slipping Away, I think that was okay. Falling Off the Edge of the World, I think for a while I had this in my top 50 and then I took it off. And then we have Over and Over. Uh, I hadn't heard this song until a couple of years ago, and this song blew me away. Uh, I think this is Iommi's best guitar solo, and Dio, this is like a perfect song for him. This is, as of right now, this is almost blasphemous, but this is my favorite Sabbath song. Right now, this is the one I go back and listen to the most. Like I said, Iommi is just so damn good in that guitar solo. If you haven't heard Over and Over, go check it out. Why this song doesn't get the credit, I don't know. I don't know why people don't listen to it. It's an amazing song. Okay, so that is it for the Mob Rules album. Basically, you have, what do I got? Two that are in the top 20, and one that is my favorite. And then I put Country Girl in here, and yeah, that's it. So 3 in the top 50. I think that album is like really solid, and obviously has one of the best. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand the Mob Rules song. Okay, if I could, I mean, I'm not going to do it because I want to save time. But this whole, what is it, the Born Again album, complete fucking trash. The only one I think you guys should give a shot is Disturbing the Priest was okay, but that album sucked. Okay, so let's skip down because, like I said, those suck. Let's get to Dehumanizer because I'm not. If you guys love these, let me know. Tell me I'm crazy. Send me some songs or just type some songs that you're like, hey, you should give this a shot. But I didn't. After the albums that I heard, I was like, I haven't heard anything that is like even close to being like a top 50 song for me. Okay, Computer God, I think, was the first one I heard off the Dehumanizer album. That is a great one for me. I'm going to put Computer God in the A tier. I love that riff. Like, I love that. The riff is amazing. Dio's part is pretty good, but this is like the heaviest he's really having to sing, in my opinion. Okay. After All, I did end up liking this one. This one I kind of had to find out for myself and discover. I'm going to put this one just above Country Girl, but this is in the D's. TV Crimes does not make my list. Letters from Earth, no. Master of Insanity, no. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Time Machine, I know a lot of people like that one, I guess because of Wayne's World. No, it didn't do it for me. Sins of the Father, no. Too Late, off the top of my head, I cannot remember how this goes, but I do remember, like, there's a lot of these off Dehumanizer that Iommi is just like, he's so damn good, like, that I'm like, oh, I have to like that one. And Geezer Butler is underrated as well. He's in a lot of these that just, his bass parts just kind of like make the song. I'm going to put Too Late above Hole in the Sky, but not above Lord of this World. Okay, I was a great song. Like when I first got into Dehumanizer years ago, I and Computer God were the ones that I just would listen to nonstop. I will put that above Sign of the Southern Cross and Computer God. I think I is a great song. Buried Alive, I think this, didn't I put this on here? Or maybe I didn't. Yeah. That's in my C category, C tier. Once again, cannot remember off the top of my head how that song goes, but I remember liking it, and I think once again due to Iommi. Okay, so that's the Dehumanizer album. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs that made my top 50, and then lastly, I'll do the. I'll try to make this quick. Really, the two that I like from this album, it was Rock and Roll Angel and Bible Black. Rock and Roll Angel was the one that I initially had here, but I think I like Country Girl a little bit more. So this would be like my top honorable mention. It's got a really cool line about like something about giant stopping the sun. And then lastly, Bible Black. Bible Black makes. Oh, and I'm missing the 13 album. Bible Black makes the D category. That's like at the very back. But or no. Let me change this up. Bible Black. I'll put there, and then let's do 13 really quick. End of the Beginning. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta text somebody. Thanks for staying patient. Okay. I have a buddy shut up. I gotta let him in. But End of the Beginning, I'm gonna put in my C. Where is it at? End of the Beginning, I'm gonna put in the C list if I can. C tier. I think End of the Beginning is really slow, but it's a solid song. I'm gonna put that above Megalomania, but behind Dirty Women. And then let's do God is Dead, which I think the guitar is amazing on this, and what he's talking about is interesting. I love Ozzy's part. He's like, "When can I empty my head?" I'm gonna put God is Dead in the B category, and I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that above Lonely is the Word. And then let's do Loner is top 10 for me. That's like me and my dad's song. Such a cool experience. My dad never likes anything new, but when I played Loner for him years ago, he was like, "Sounds like Sabbath to me." He was like, "I love it." So that's our song. Um, and then Zeitgeist. I really do like Zeitgeist. This is the sequel to Planet Caravan, so naturally I like it. I'm gonna put Zeitgeist in. That's in my B category, and I'm gonna put that just right above Air Dance. And let's keep going. Age of Reason. Uh, I put that in my C's. Um, Age of Reason. I'm gonna put it right behind End of the Beginning, but it makes the C tier. And then let's see. Live Forever. Live Forever, I think, just barely made the cut. It like I always remember like, and I don't want to live forever. I'm gonna put that. That literally is like number 50. It's just okay. Um, Damaged Soul. Damaged Soul is really good. I think that one is probably the most underrated from that 13 album, where he's talking about I'm losing the battle between Satan and God. That's good stuff. I know I can't sing. I'm gonna put Damaged Soul in the B tier, right above God is Dead. I think that's kind of where it goes. And we're almost done. We're almost done. Dear Father, put that in the D category. Right there. And then Nothing for Me, Peace of Mind. Nothing. Yeah, the rest of these are nothing. So anyway, that's it for my list. That's my top 50. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I got to get off here. But Black Sabbath forever. Have a good one, guys.